was the real reason that Jack Reacher chose to live like a drifter? Now, while there are still some mysteries surrounding Jack's backstory in Amazon Prime's Reacher and Lee Child's original books, both give us some juicy tidbits about his military background, his family history, and his time as a special investigator. You know that sort of mysterious stranger vibe that Jack has going on? It keeps us on our toes. His strong sense of justice, it's always shining through as he hunts down the bad guys, but the show and the books, they play it cool when it comes to his past, which naturally leaves us intrigued and wanting more, so I'm not mad about it. So here's everything we know so far about him. We get some great insights along the way. Through flashbacks, we start to piece together what makes Jack Reacher tick, from his military days to the real reason he chose to live like a drifter. So let's kick things off with his family. Obviously, we know that he has an older brother, Joe, and the Amazon Prime series, it gives us some fantastic flashbacks that show just how close they were growing up, even if they did drift apart later on. Joe was always there for Jack, guiding him through tough times, like the time he took the fall to protect Jack after a bullying incident, and in The Enemy, Joe is described as Jack's rock, always looking out for him, which it really sets the tone for their relationship. Despite being inseparable as children, Jack and Joe took different paths as adults and only met again at their mother's funeral. In season 1, Jack recalls how Joe introduced him, the blues musician, Blind Blake, whose mysterious death, it leads Jack to a small town called Margrave. And here's where it gets intense. Jack discovers that Joe was murdered while investigating a counterfeiting operation for the US Treasury. So talk about a twist that kind of pulls you in. In Killing Floor, Jack reflects on this tragedy, saying, "I never thought I'd be back in this town for a funeral." So let's talk about his upbringing. His dad was a Marine captain, and this meant that he grew up on military bases all over the world. This military vibe, it definitely shaped both Jack and Joe's careers. Jack enrolled at West Point Military Academy, and he quickly made a name for himself as a top performer. In Bad Luck and Trouble, we learn that Jack was among the elite, rising through the ranks so fast that he became the youngest pacetime major. He was described as a soldier who had seen it all and survived. But things took a turn when he faced some serious corruption and bullying in the military, a theme that runs throughout the series, especially in The Affair. In that novel, Jack confronts the harsh realities of military life, stating, "It's not the bullets that get you, it's the politics." This disillusionment, it led him to leave the military and embrace a life of freedom. Now, eventually, Jack made the bold choice to live as a self-proclaimed drifter. But why? Well, he was fed up with the military's corruption, and he wanted to see the world beyond those bases. After a lifetime confined in that lifestyle, he craved freedom. Plus, let's be real, Jack, he's kind of a misfit who doesn't quite fit into the typical 9-to-5 routine, so living off the grid, it suits him just fine. He once said, "I'm a drifter. I go where the wind takes me." And speaking of his military career, Jack didn't just serve, he excelled. He earned tons of accolades, including a Purple Heart and 2 Silver Stars. And he even won the Marine Corps Wimbledon Cup as the first non-Marine. That's pretty impressive. In The Killing Floor, Jack reflects on his awards, saying, "Every medal has a story, and every story has a price." Now let's take a peek at Jack's time as a special investigator. He was the mastermind behind the 110th Special Investigations Unit, and he took his job seriously. In Bad Luck and Trouble, it's revealed that commanding this unit was a reward for him after he became a major again. Jack carefully selected his team, and he found creative ways to bond them, stating, "You don't just lead a team, you build a family." They tackled some pretty dangerous cases, including investigating corruption within the military itself. Jack's strong moral compass, it definitely rubbed off on his crew, which leads to some intense moments in season 2. Even though season 2 was kind of a letdown for me, the first season was practically perfect, nailing the adaptation of Lee Child's first Reacher novel, Killing Floor. But the second, it had some serious plot holes, and it just didn't hold up. Plus, seeing Reacher teaming up with ex-army buddies it misses the whole point of him being this one-man army who can take down tough opponents all on his own. It's funny how the characters, they just kept reminding us that the details matter. So what makes Jack Reacher such a compelling character and a great watch on Amazon Prime? It's simple. He embodies the classic hero archetype while subverting expectations. He's not your typical law enforcement officer or detective. He's a drifter with a strong moral code who believes in justice, even if it means taking matters into his own hands. This show, it captures the essence perfectly, combining thrilling action with thought-provoking storytelling. Plus, with Alan Ritchson bringing Jack to life, the character's physicality and charm really shine through, making it impossible not to root for him. If you're looking for a show that's both entertaining and layered with depth, Reacher has got you covered. And if you haven't seen the trailer yet, the new season is diving into the 7th Reacher novel, Persuader. And I have to say, it's my second favourite novel in the series after Killing Floor. I think it's one of the best books to adapt for TV too. I won't give away any spoilers, but the official summary for this season goes like this. Reacher, who finds himself deep in a vast criminal operation as he tries to rescue an undercover DEA informant who's running out of time. He ends up in a world filled with secrecy and violence while also dealing with some unfinished business from the past. And as I mentioned this time around, the DEA agent, Susan Duffy, who he's teaming up with, if the show sticks to the book, will also be his romantic interest. He'll also face off against a group of criminals, including Paulie, Oliver Richards. And wow, he's a lot bigger than Reacher. He's definitely not a nice guy. And plus, we'll see Anthony Michael Hall as Zachary Beck, who's the main antagonist this season. It sounds like it's going to be a wild ride, and I have everything crossed that it's going to deliver. So there you have it. Jack Reacher, he's more than a tough guy. He's got a rich backstory filled with, like us all, some family drama and life experiences that shape who he is today.